Gentlemen, ladies, folks of all ages, welcome to Sandamtod's pickup video! I haven't done a pickup video in a while. This isn't all the stuff. I just kind of cherry picked, and I'll cherry pick again and again until it's gone. Or I buy more stuff and it keeps going on. But anyway, we'll get started. It's a lot of movies and a couple of games. I have a couple more games, but I'm not showing them all. Not blowing my whole load. We got three different formats going on here. I have Blu-ray, DVDs, and laser discs. Haha. And we'll kind of weed through them as we go here. Let's see. We'll get started. We'll save the video games for last. I do remember where I got some of this stuff, but I can't remember when, so bear with me. But I do remember what some of it cost. Anyway, first things first is a DVD. I got this one at the pawn shop. I got a few more at the pawn shop as well when I got this one, but I'm just throwing this one in with this so we're not Kubrick heavy. The first one I have here is Dredd. Now, if you haven't seen this, if you thought Judge Dredd, if you were a little leery about seeing this because you have the Stallone Judge Dredd and stuff, you have to see this one. I'm kind of sad because this one didn't get a lot of box office. I think it did okay on DVD, but I don't know if they'll make another one because of it. The guy that is Dredd, I'm trying to think of a couple other movies he's been in. I know he was in Lord of the Rings. He was in Ghost Ship. I know he's been in some other stuff. He's on a TV show right now. I can't think of the name of it. Where he's a police officer and he has like an android partner. I don't know if it got canceled yet or not, but his name is, I know it, but I'm going to look for it anyway. Is it on the front? Of course not. Oh yeah, he's in the Star Trek movies. Carl Urban. He's the Bones on Star Trek movies. But he does an excellent Dredd. If you're worried about the cheesy campiness of the one, this one is totally a bloodbath and it's totally serious, and I really loved it. And like I said, I'm hasten to say they might not do another one, but it's kind of sad because it was definitely worth the dollar. I got the, and speaking of a dollar, that's what I paid for this at the pawn shop, was $1. If you go to the Walmart or any other place where you buy movies, or even go online and looking for movies, you're not going to find Dredd for $1. So I picked it up. I had seen it. I had seen it, but I picked it up anyway. I had it on my my hard drive, but I decided to get the real thing when I saw it, so I picked it up. And like I said, we're a little Kubrick heavy. I'm not gonna beat you over the head. Like I said, I've been watching a lot of different older movies. I watched this Steven Spielberg flick that he did right before he did Jaws called Duel, and I had never seen it, and it's actually pretty good. I had to watch it a second time just to really get a flavor for it, because the first time I was watching it, it just seemed like I was watching it. I wasn't watching it for the movie. I was watching it more for the way it was shot and some of the camera moves and things like that, and some of the dialogue, as opposed to actually kind of really just watching it. So I remember him talking about it on the Jaws DVD, why he chose to do Jaws and this and that, and he was talking about the movie that he had done right before called Duel, and I had never seen it, and I'm glad I've seen it now, because it was a good flick. You ought to check it out if you've never seen it. It's only about an hour and a half long. It's basically about this guy that leaves to go to a meeting for his job or whatever, and he leaves his house and he's driving and he's got to commute. I think he's going to the next town over or whatever, and it's kind of through some deserty area. It looks like maybe he lives in Arizona or New Mexico, something like that. And he gets stuck driving behind this guy who's driving this big old, like, rusted out looking diesel, hauling gas or something, some kind of flammable. It just says flammable on it. I don't know what it is, but he passes the guy, and from there it just goes back and forth. The guy, it escalates and escalates and escalates to the point where this guy's basically getting to the point where this guy's trying to kill him. I mean, it kind of reminded me of, like, not Hitcher, sort of like Hitcher, but you know, something like that. The thing is you never see the guy in the diesel ever. I mean, you see a glance of his arm, you see his legs, you know, walking underneath on the other side of the truck, you know, underneath the trailer or whatever, but you never see the guy, and it's just one of those things that it's just, because of that, it's just this big faceless machine that's just trying to run you down. So I don't even have that movie. That's just one I was recommending if you all are looking for some recommendations. But I picked this up around Christmas. I think it was a little after. I think after I had some mad money from Christmas, I picked up some Kubrick stuff, but I picked up the Kubrick triple feature of 2001, Clockwork Orange, and The Shining. I think they've done a couple of triple features. I would recommend this one for sure, and I think this is a Blu-ray, and I think I got it for like $8 or $9. All three of these movies are excellent, but not only that, each disc has all of its original special features, so there's really no reason to buy them separately when you can buy them all together. Let me see here. I don't have the Shining disc in here because it's in my PlayStation 3. There's 2001 and Clockwork Orange, and the Shining disc goes there, but I didn't realize I didn't have it in there, so bad form on my part. And then I had picked up a couple other DVDs. And the reason why I picked up the DVDs is because for some reason some of the Kubrick stuff, especially this movie called Paths of Glory, on Blu-ray, it's called like a Criterion Collection or something, and the Blu-ray is like $69 or $70, and I don't know why, because it does have special features and stuff, and it was kind of the same way with the Doctor Strangelove, and that's why I went ahead and picked up the DVD. I picked up the DVD of Doctor Strangelove because something makes me think the Blu-ray was just like $30 or $40, and I think I got this for like $7 or $8, and it has the exact same special features on it that the Blu-ray had on it. So there's really no reason to not go ahead and just get the DVD. I mean, when I throw it in my my PlayStation or whatever, it's gonna upscale it anyway, so it's really no big deal. But I'd watched The Shining, and that's kind of what got me started with the Kubrick thing, is I'd watched The Shining, and I'd never watched it all the way through. I'd watched parts of it, and I'd never watched it all the way through, and I decided I was going to watch it all the way through finally. I was like, shit, Jack Nicholson ain't bad, you know, I'll give it a shot, you know, even though I'd never watched it all the way through. So I watched it all the way through. I realized the differences between the story and the book, the movie and the book, but to me that wasn't really the point, and I suppose it really wasn't Kubrick's point either when it came down to it. But there's so many like conspiracies surrounding this guy, and I don't know why. Oops, we're tipping over. Oh, no. Oh, sorry. And now I'm probably cockeyed. Anyway, there's so many conspiracies when it comes to some of his stuff, and I don't know why necessarily. I watched these two things that I forget what it's called. There was a website. I was able to find a couple of. They're not documentaries. They're more like a study on certain things that he's done, and the guy that had done the studies. He had done one for The Shining, and he had done one for 2001, and he gets really into this idea of the Masonic, kind of the Masonic hidden society, and these, this group of people that basically rules the earth, and all this, and how the Masonic works used to be put into architecture, and then they were put into literature, and he wanted to see if they had ever been put into film, this great work, whatever it's called, he determined that 2001 is this Masonic great work, and he goes through this hour-long thing of explaining why it is and that, and I don't know a lot about it, that the society and things. I've never really looked into that kind of stuff. I've heard things about the Masons and the stonemasons and things like that, but I've never really, it's one of those things you always hear is like, oh yeah, there's this secret society or whatever. I always think of the Simpsons episode when they had the I forget what they were called, but the secret society, and Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart did the voice for like the main guy, and Homer ended up being like the chosen one or something in the episode, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, the thing he did on The Shining, and this is where it comes down to it. I'm one of those people that will look at anything with an open mind, even if I'm skeptical. I try to go into it with an open mind, and I might be skeptical the first time I watch it and be like, yeah, right, or whatever, or this, that, and then I'll watch it again a second time after I get it out of the way and kind of just listen to what the guy's saying and see where he's coming from and see if he really has any kind of points or whatever. It was kind of like when I watched this thing on 9/11 called Loose Change. They did like 3 or 4 editions of it. I think they... maybe 3. I think they did 3, but the first one they did was shorter, and it was kind of conspiracy laden. The second edition got really into this fake conspiracy of them like landing the plane and offloading passengers and equipping the plane with a missile and taking it back, to the tower, and using this thermite or whatever it is to shoot hot liquid metal down the center of the elevator shafts to cause it to collapse. And I mean, it was like way over the top. And I looked at it from a point that your conspiracy, it felt too fictional. It's just one of those things but you watch it and you're like, okay, you see the Pentagon, you see the hole doesn't look big enough for the plane that they claim that flew through it. And, how certain parts of it should have been more burned than others and this and that. And, I mean, I don't know. I don't claim to know anything. I take pretty much the 9/11 thing on face value. But who knows at the end of the day? It's just one of those things. Loose Change was one of the first things that I watched that was kind of like that. But this guy with the Kubrick stuff is about the same. His 2 things that I found were called Kubrick's Odyssey. And it was Kubrick's Odyssey 1 and 2, and I think he's going to do some more, or not, I don't know. But the first one was on The Shining, and the second one was on 2001. But he also had done this particular documentary with some other people on The Shining as well. And this one is called Room 237. And that's the room number in the Shining, Kubrick's Shining, that the dead woman's in. But this dude claims that Kubrick faked all the footage from the moon landings, and that this basically is his admission without coming out and telling anybody, because he was afraid he would get assassinated, as to the fact that he did fake the moon landings, and he goes into detail as to why. And his first Shining thing kind of is the same deal. And there's a bunch of different people that do some kind of looks or takes on this movie. The first guy says that Kubrick's talking about the genocide of the American Indian, or the Native American, with the white man taking over his country and this and that. The second guy is the dude that says that the movie's about the moon landing, being faked. He didn't say that the moon landing was fake. He said all the footage that you saw on TV and all the pictures are fake. He said maybe, he's not contesting the fact that maybe they did go to the moon. He's just saying whatever footage we saw at the time was faked. And then there's a woman on here that does she does a thing where she's talking about mazes and how the house is kind of like a maze, and the hedge maze and the Minotaur and the connotations of the Minotaur versus the the maze and this and that. And so there's all these different takes on the work itself. And this is one of those things that I actually watched. I found it like on YouTube or something and watched it, and then I decided to go ahead and buy this because it was not that expensive. But it's 2 discs. The first disc is the actual thing. I haven't checked out the second disc yet. This is kind of a strange picture because it is the same carpet design from the movie, but that's not the same boy. That's not a real tennis ball. It looks like a drawn tennis ball. And then there's these blood streaks in the carpet coming up from the bottom. So I think that's kind of strange. And then you have the back that has all these different words and things. And when you slide it together, it looks like the keyhole. But also, if you slide it together like this, I noticed the boy falls right in the hole centered, and then you have this streak coming up with the ball, and it just falls right in there. And this is called, in 1980, Stanley Kubrick released his masterpiece of modern horror, The Shining. Over 30 years later, we're still struggling to understand its hidden meanings. Rodney Asher's wry and provocative documentary called 237 fuses fact and fiction throughout interviews, and with both fanatics and scholars alike, creating a kaleidoscope deconstruction of Kubrick's still controversial classic. And, it says, this is Kubrick's Da Vinci Code, all these different quotes on it. And then it's got a commentary with a guy that they mention in the actual movie that doesn't actually speak in the movie, and then he decides to do a commentary. His commentary and the stuff he was talking about was way over my head. And then there's some deleted scenes and some discussions and things like that, and a couple trailers for the movie. But this was fairly cheap. If you guys dig kind of conspiracy things or documentary style stuff, I recommend this just as kind of a companion piece, even if you don't believe it, at all. It's just one of those things to listen to and find out how strange it is how people can come up with these ideas and firmly believe or not believe, and it's up to you. I believe we went to the moon. I believe that the footage of Neil Armstrong walking on the moon and all that is real. Now, as far as the way this guy presents, all the, still photos and things like that, I don't know. see, that's where I kind of draw the line. I could see them faking still photos, but I don't see them faking the actual video footage. So, I mean, but this guy claims that that Kubrick did it all, and that the government basically, arranged to have him do it, and in a sense allowing him to have carte blanche for the rest of his career, to be able to do whatever he wanted, and this and that. So it's crazy. I know I talked long enough about it, so I'll let it slide, but I love those documentary style things. It's like lately I've been really into watching these. Originally I was watching Seconds from Disaster. It was a National Geographic show, and I was watching all these different things about the Hindenburg disaster, or the Titanic, or certain airplane crashes, or this, and that comes back to that 9/11 thing. What it was is I was looking at the loose change deal. I hadn't watched it in years, and I pulled it up when I was moving some stuff around on my computer, and I watched a little bit of it, and he mentions that in the Seconds from Disaster thing, they talk about how the plane supposedly took out this, so I wanted to find this specific Seconds from Disaster, but after I had watched a few, it was just so depressing, because everybody dies on the Seconds from Disaster. I mean, it's just like crazy. So that kind of bled into me watching these other ones called Airplane Crash Investigations, which are also done by Nat Geo. But the difference between the Airplane Crash Investigations and the Seconds from Disaster is sometimes on the airplane crash investigations everybody dies, but not every time. Sometimes they get the plane down, it's damaged or whatever, or there was some problems in the air and they're able to get it down, or there's depressurization or something. But what they do is they walk you through in the first part of what went on, what went wrong, what happened, whether it crashed or they got back or whatever. And then they work backwards from that, deconstructing the accident and what went on and determining exactly what happened. And that falls along that same line of documentary style stuff that I've been interested in lately. Okay, laser discs. Every time I buy laser discs, people are always like, "Is laser disc worth buying?" And what's the quality like, and this and that. And I'm just going to throw it out there. Laserdisc is a collector's medium. It really is. The quality is below DVD quality. It's above VHS quality. It's one of the first mediums that came on disc for video content. If you don't have one of the fancy schmancy, more expensive models of Laserdisc player that'll read, I think it has lasers on both sides, so it'll read the one side and then it'll read the other side. You have to flip the Laserdisc about every 30 minutes up to maybe an hour or so, and you have to flip it. That gets annoying. I was watching Jurassic Park, and it was like every 20 or 30 minutes, I was having to get up and flip the disc. And it's just like, I'll just watch it on DVD. So what it comes down to is it's more of a collector's thing than anything. And I do have a Laserdisc player, and it does work fine, and I like having it. And I like collecting Laserdiscs here and there when I see them. But do I recommend buying it? Only if you're buying it for collecting purposes. I really like the Laserdisc sleeves that the Laserdiscs come in, and the amount of artwork they put into it. They remind me of record albums back in the day, and how they would put time in to actually, designing the actual records or whatever, artwork. And so we're going to get started here. One of these movies I don't remember ever watching. So this one's still sealed, actually, and I'm a little hesitant to unseal it. I do have some that I bought, a couple of them that are sealed that I haven't unsealed at all. I have Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, and I have Evil Dead, And I know those two for a fact I have that are still sealed. I think I have Cable Guy. Maybe I don't, but I think I do, and I think it's sealed. But anyway, this is the Sandra Bullock widescreen deluxe, The Net. Now, I remember seeing this movie a long time ago, and it's a good movie, but I don't know that I would necessarily want to watch it on Laserdisc, but I like the big, the big shot on the front of the, of her face. You have the computer monitors and stuff, and I think the basis of this movie was they erased her identity for some reason or another. The back, I don't know why they have this small type, but it basically gives a synopsis of the movie. These are all your chapter breaks. Here you have her on the side running. I forgot Dennis Miller was in this. I paid $2 for it at the flea mart. There's one guy that primarily has Laserdisc there, and I usually kind of pick through them, and if I see something there when I'm there, I'll go ahead and pick it up. This is the one I'm not sure, but I probably have seen it. And the sleeve is in good shape. That's the main reason why I went ahead and got it. Sometimes the sleeves are a little bent up or whatever, or a little faded, and that's the case with the last one, but I had to pick it up. But this is a Sylvester Stallone flick with Sharon Stone in it called The Specialist. Now, I don't know. I just don't remember ever seeing this. I probably have, but I just don't remember ever seeing it. Laserdisc, widescreen edition. The back, you have your chapter list. This one was also $2. A collage of different shots from the movie, synopsis, and then your credits. And then we'll go ahead and pull one out just for old shits and grins and look at it real quick. You have a big album sleeve, and then you have the actual Laserdisc, nice and shiny. This one's only 2 sides, extended play, nice big CD. Now, some of the Laserdiscs have I forget what it's called, disc rot. It depends, because they use different. This 2 sides of the Laserdisc were actually kind of glued together. I don't remember what the deal is exactly, but sometimes there can be degradation depending on the way it was, the type of glue they used, and different things. So that's another kind of thing about Laserdiscs. But that one looks in good shape. And then the final one I picked up, this one was more than $2, and I didn't realize it because I thought all of them were $2, but it was really no big deal. The cover is a little worn, but awesome movie. Jodie Foster, Anthony Hopkins, Silence of the Lambs. You have Anthony Hopkins back here, and then Jodie Foster. The Criterion Collection. Didn't we talk about that already? Laserdisc. The back, you have the one guy. It puts the lotion on the skin. And then they have different montage shots. Here he is in the cage. This tells you a synopsis of the movie. This one actually has some special features. This one has commentary and a couple different things. But commentary, this is one of the first mediums that I remember them putting commentary tracks on. And sometimes those commentary tracks are different than what on DVDs, or sometimes they didn't even put them on DVDs. Like, I know my Get Shorty Laserdisc has a commentary with the director that's not on the DVD at all. So, and then it opens up, nice wide two panel fold out. You have your chapter lists for the 4, because this one's 4-sided, 2 discs. It's got your cast with the actors and what they their names in the movie were, who the directors and everything are. I mean, it's just awesome. This one ran me $5. Got Hopkins' eyes there. Got to get that price tag off of there, but this one was worth it for $5. So I was like, sweet. So those are my 3 Laserdisc pickups. The guy usually has them for like anywhere from $2 to $5. Sometimes if you buy like 5 of them, he'll sell them to you for $10. So you're definitely getting them for $2, no matter what they are. But it's kind of pick of the litter, and a lot of times I go in there, it's either the same stuff, or it looks like he threw some stuff in there and people got to it before I did. Those were new, at least to me, since the last time I had been in there. Okay, final 2 things. We have a couple of games I picked up. One of them I haven't even started playing. One of them I did start playing, got kind of stuck, and kind of put it on hold for a while. As far as, what was I playing? I was playing The Last of Us. I don't know why. It's an awesome game, but I just put the brakes on it. Shortly after I got the kid, and I started playing through it. Once you play through that first part and you get the kid, and I don't know. I'm not really stuck. I just stopped. Don't ask me why. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm not saying I shouldn't go back to it. I'm just saying I just stopped for some reason. I did pick up that Walking Dead Season 1 game, the Game of the Year edition for the PS3. I showed that a while back. I haven't even played it yet. I stuck it in. No, did I even stick it in? I don't think I did. I unwrapped it. I know I did that. But this game I picked up with a little gift card I got for Christmas. I'd really been wanting it. And the game itself was awesome, but like I said, I got stuck. And so I kind of just put it down for a while. I haven't really played much in the way of video games in a couple of weeks. But the game is Dead Space 3. I did pick it up for the 360 because I have Dead Space 1 and 2 on the 360. I also have Dead Space 2 on the PlayStation 3. So this was one of those that doesn't have really an instruction booklet with it either. The disc is, of course, in the machine, so I don't have it here. That's the second disc. Awesome game. I was playing along, got through some of the beginning stuff. I reached a point where they wanted me to go outside the ship we crash landed on to make my way around the outside to another hatch to get a emergency vehicle or something, and I don't know. I'm stuck because every time I go out there, I don't know where I'm going, and I end up running out of air and dying. And it happened like five or six times, you know. And I finally was just like, man, I gotta just take a break from it. So I took a break from it, and then this game I picked up at Christmas. After Christmas, because we did our work Christmas party kind of around New Year's. It was after Christmas. It was actually closer to New Year's, and we played games and we always kind of play some games or something. We have like, everybody draws an envelope and you can switch them or trade with people, but once you open an envelope, it's yours. And I happened to pull mine. I switched with somebody. I was the only one in the whole office that traded with anybody. Everybody's so worried about like pissing somebody off or stepping on somebody's toes that they don't want to trade with anybody. So I traded, and it was a good thing I did, because mine I think had like $3 in it. My original one, and the guy I traded with, which was one of the bosses actually, it had a $50 bill in it. So I ended up with a $50 bill on top of my Christmas bonus check. And so I immediately after we were done doing the Christmas party, luncheon and stuff, went back to the office. On my break, I ordered this game. So I picked this up. It's called Beyond Two Souls for the PS3. I think it's an exclusive. It's got voice and basically character. I mean, basically the faces and stuff look just like the people. Ellen Page and Willem Dafoe. I've heard mixed things about this game, but all of the trailers and stuff I saw looked good. This is another one of those that's got the digital manual, so there wasn't anything on the inside other than the disc, but the manual was on the disc, so I downloaded it onto the hard drive, and I haven't started playing this either. So anyway, that's a pickup video if you've ever seen one. I know I haven't done one in a while. So anyway, I've got more stuff, like I said, but we're going to call it at that, and we'll get out of here. That was quite a little mix. Oh yeah, I was cleaning and doing some different things around the house, and I had forgotten in my room here where my dresser sits, and the door over here is basically stuck open, or open to where you can't shut it. But behind the door, I had put some things behind there, and one of them was this particular item. I don't know if you saw it when I grabbed the camera. Is my Jackson PS2. I had forgotten that I had put my guitar behind there. I've got two guitars. This is my original one. What happened was, this was basically my trainee guitar. It's got the whammy bar and everything. I haven't hooked it up to I tuned it up, but I hadn't hooked it up to a amplifier or anything yet. And it had so much dust on it and cat hair and stuff. It was a sad sight. So now that I got it cleaned up and stuff again, it's looking pretty good. It's got one little like ding out of the plastic, the coating on the paint right here. It's not down to the wood, but and I think it was like that when I bought it, because it was like a scratch and dent kind of deal. I remember it was like a Midnight Madness kind of selling thing, and where they were kind of clearing out some merchandise and stuff. And I really didn't have the money to be buying a guitar, nor did I need one. But I wanted to learn, and I was hanging out with a guy who had played and stuff, and it was just one of those deals where he was going to check out some stuff, and we went there, and I was looking around, and I found this guitar, and I remember it was like marked down, I think mainly because it had a couple of had that ding there, and but I mean, it was still in good shape, and I think they wanted $425 for it, and I only had about $200 on me, and my buddy ended up putting it on his Visa card, and I paid him back about $50 a week, plus a little bit extra, because he did put it on his credit card, so I could have my own guitar instead of playing his all the time. But that's basically, this guitar here is the one I basically learned how to play what little I can play on. So I'll serenade you some other time. I really am ready to get out of here, and we'll piece this together and have a video. So anyway, don't know when I'll post another video. Weather's been shitty. Life's been pretty good, so that's just the way it is. Watching a lot of movies, playing very little video games, and feeling bad that I'm not doing more content, but I do what I do when I do it because something catches my eye or I want to talk about something. So until next video, I'll talk to you folks later. Bye.